Good morning, everybody. First, I'd like to give honor to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and to my youth pastor, Timothy Hopkins. And can we give them all in our television audience a hand clap? Today I'm going to be continuing on with my series, which is called Our Final Designation. Amen. We continue on that because I'm having a little series going on. Well, last time I was up here, I was talking about death, and that was the introduction. So let's get to the heart of death and how this curse came to earth. As always, when you need to know things, it starts in the book of beginnings, as my youth pastor Tim says. If you want to know God and what happened in the past, go to the book of Genesis. In the book of Genesis, we all know how it starts. God created everything and said it was good. And in the midst of his creation, God created the Garden of Eden, which, had to be beautiful. God created it. It's probably like heaven on earth. After that, he created the first man, Adam. And God and Adam, they had a special relationship, as it states in the Bible. Adam and God walked together. And as they walked, God talked to Adam, and he told him not to eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, or you would surely die. Adam listened to God, and as he taught him his ways, Adam knew God, a special way. It looked like they had a really good relationship. And he knew that if he disobeyed God, he would die. So Adam followed his commandments. And after God created Eve, Adam was supposed to explain to her to not eat of the forbidden fruit. He was supposed to teach her. But, things faltered a little bit. He didn't fully explain or give her an in-depth of God's laws. See, Adam is the cause and bearer of death because he delivered it in the earthly realms. Though Eve is to blame, Adam was the one responsible for bringing the curse, called death, to the human race. Adam was told by God what not to do, yet he disobeyed God anyway. In the book of Genesis, it says, Adam was with Eve when the serpent, which is the devil, came to tempt them, showing us that Adam was in agreement with her. So let's go ahead and slide over to the book of Genesis real quick. I can find it. Let's see. Okay, it's Genesis 3, the 3rd chapter, starting at the 6th verse. It reads, "And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat." When Adam chose her over God, he chose to go along with Eve, even though he knew it was wrong. He made his choice and paid the ultimate price by bringing death to this world. Since Adam chose Eve over God, he unknowingly made her his idol, his God. Now, when you see this in the Bible, some people think women in general are cursed because of what happened, but that is not true. If Eve was born first and God created Adam after her, no doubt the same thing would have happened, because God gave us all a will. We all have a choice to not follow him or follow the devil. So either way, it would still probably happen. Always remember, God does not see male and female as one being inferior over the other. He sees us as equals, as one. There is no division with God. He treats us all the same because he is our good Father. Notice when Adam and Eve disobeyed God, he not only punished Eve, he also punished Adam because he is equally to blame. Because of their sin, they brought death, the curse we all face one day on this earth. Now that death came to the earth, it continued to spread because sin, which is lawlessness, entered into the world also. This sin and death continued on with Cain and Abel. See, there are two deaths. There is spiritual death, where Adam and Eve were spiritually separated from God due to their disobedience. And the second death is physical death, where our bodies die, but our spirits live on, going to our final designation. Because of Adam and Eve's sin, they welcomed the devil, they welcomed the devil in to have full reign on this earth. Amen. Adam and Eve, they didn't fully realize what they did at that time. And like they had a beginning, the devil also had a beginning. The devil, which we know his story, he's arrogant. That's what messed him up. So let's go ahead and check the devil's beginning. First we'll go to the book of Ezekiel. Let me look here. Starting at the 28th chapter and the 12th verse. Okay. It reads, "You are the model of perfection, full of wisdom and exquisite in beauty. You were in Eden, the garden of God. Your clothing was adorned with precious stone, red carnelian, pale green peridot, white moonstone, blue-green beryl, onyx, green jasper, blue lapis lazuli, turquoise, and emerald, all beautifully crafted for you and set in the finest gold. They were given to you on the day you were created. I adorned and anointed you as the mighty angelic guardian. You had access to the holy mountain of God and walked among the stones of fire. You were blameless in all you did from the day you were created until the day evil was found in you. Your rich commerce led you to violence, and you sinned. So I banished you in disgrace from the mountain of God. I expelled you, Almighty Guardian, from your place among the stones of fire. Your heart was filled with pride because of your beauty. Your wisdom was corrupted by your love and splendor, by the love of your splendor. So I threw you to the ground." See, people like to speculate that when the devil rebelled against God, it was a great war. No, God just threw him out. Amen. I forgot where it's found, but they said it was like a mighty lightning from the sky. Amen. That sounded like that kind of hurt. Amen. So, this was why the devil was kicked out of heaven. His pride. He wanted to be God. In Ezekiel, it says he's exquisite in beauty, showing you the devil was stuck on himself. He thought he was all that. Amen. He thought he could rule all of heaven because he was so beautiful. And he wanted to take God off his throne. But we all know God wasn't having that. Amen. That's why he kicked us behind our heaven. How can the creation say I'm greater than the creator? Amen. Okay? Amen. That's why he got kicked out. See, the devil had a high position in heaven and he blew it. He was probably one of the highest angels. He was anointed cherub. He was beautiful. But he was not satisfied with what God gave him. He wanted more power. He wanted to be God. So God kicked him out and all the angels with him. Amen. They crazy for falling. What's their problem? Why you want to get kicked out of heaven? I want to get kicked out of heaven.
Amen.
Okay, I want to stay.
Praise the Lord.
Well, when the devil hit rock bottom and saw Adam and Eve, he wanted to extract his revenge against God. Isn't that pitiful? It's his fault. So he wanted to hurt God's creation and deceive them so he can have a foothold on earth, because at that time he didn't have a foothold. And he knew, physically speaking, he couldn't kill God because God can't die.
Amen.
He can't fight God because he's too powerful.
Amen. Praise the
Yeah,
Lord.
he can't do that. So, what better way to hurt God but going after his creation? The devil knew that would hurt God. So he tempted Adam and Eve with that delicious fruit. It must look really good. Must have been delicious for them. He tempted them with that. So, after he did that, Adam and Eve listened, and it created a spirit of rebellion in the human race. A spirit to defy God. See, this rebellion started with the devil because he has evil in his heart. The devil brought death to the human race through our first parents. See, the devil knows his fate, so he wants to take us all to hell with him. That's why he corrupted Adam and Eve, telling them they would not surely die if they eat of the forbidden fruit. The devil, as always, is a liar. The Bible even calls him the father of all lies. Many wonder, why did Adam and Eve listen to the devil, even though they knew what they were doing was wrong? It's one simple answer: pride. It is a trait we as humans have. They decided to believe and listen to the devil instead of listening to God. They didn't even think about it. They just went ahead and sinned against God, like we all do today. As it reads in Romans, the 5th chapter, starting at the 12th verse, "Wherefore, as by one man's sin entered into the world, and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned. By one man's offense, death reigned." That is found in Romans, the 5th chapter, starting at the 17th verse. See, the devil knew if he could deceive Adam, he could get the keys of earth.
Amen.
At that time, Adam and Eve were the king and queen of earth, meaning the devil had no reign here. He didn't have a foothold on the earth yet. I often like to use the example of the devil being like a vampire. Vampires can't enter your home unless you invite them in. Yeah, it's a story, but there is some truth to that.
Amen.
The devil, he can't enter your life or your home unless you invite him in.
That's right.
And with messed up Eve, she invited him in by talking to him. There's all sorts of ways you can invite the devil in unknowingly. Objects, things, anything. That's why you have to be careful. And Eve invited him in, and he came in the form of a snake, and that just like the devil. I guess that's why we don't like snakes. You know, passed down. Well, he came as a snake and talked to Eve, but not Adam. The devil knew he couldn't talk to Adam directly, so he used his wife, because she had a lot of influence on Adam. And what better way to get to a man's heart but through his wife? For the devil talk to Eve shows that she didn't fully believe or trust in God, because she believed the devil at the drop of a hat. She obviously had doubt in her heart, and it shows that Adam also had this same doubt, because it didn't take much to convince him to rebel against God. Once they ate of the fruit, they lost the keys of earth. They lost dominion over the world, handing it to the devil. This one act dethroned Adam and Eve, giving the devil the foothold he was looking for.
Amen.
Their one act of sin brought death and rebellion to the human race. When did rebellion come with death? Why did rebellion come with it? It's because Adam and Eve rebelled against God, bringing with it sin and death. As it reads in Romans, it's the same chapter, the 5th chapter, starting at the 18th through the 19th and 21st verse, it reads, "By the offense of one judgment came upon all men to condemnation, for as by one man's disobedience many were made sinners, that as sin hath reigned unto death. This is how death came into the world, and why the devil is the prince of this world." When Adam and Eve unknowingly handed the keys of earth to the devil, they didn't fully realize what they had done. In 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, starting at the 4th verse, it refers to the devil as the god of this world. This shows the devil has an increased influence on the thoughts, views, and ideas of people. The devil influences are the foundations of the commerce, philosophies, and education. The false gods all around the world and different ideas and things that go against the true and the living God are the manifestations of the devil's influence on earth. The devil has many names, showing you his skill set and power he has on this earth. In Ephesians, it refers to the devil as the prince of the air, meaning that the devil has some forms of ruling the earth and the people. But this doesn't mean he has total control over the earth, which is a blessing. Thank God. Because God allows the devil to operate this earth with boundaries he sets. And why is that? It all goes back to the beginning. Remember, because people get mad, why does God allow this? Read Genesis, it'll tell you. Remember when the devil, he got his rights to be the god of this world when Adam and Eve sinned. So that's why he has reign here now.
Amen.
In the Bible, it also says the devil is the prince of this world. But remember, God allows the devil to reign over people who don't know God or reject him. Christians are no longer under the rule of the devil. We have been delivered from the curse of the law.
Praise the Lord.
Non-Christians are caught in the snare of the devil and are in bondage to Satan. Since the devil is the god of this age, he has blinded the minds of those who don't believe in the true and the living God. See, though Adam and Eve messed up like we all do today, God provided a ram in the bush,
Amen. Praise the Lord.
or should I say, the Lamb of God.
Amen.
God loved us, or still loves us, so much that he sent down his one and only Son, Jesus Christ, down from glory, to die for all of our sins, being our sacrificial lamb, so that we are no longer spiritually dead, meaning spiritually separated from God. When Jesus hung on that ragged cross and died, he brought us back from the dead by connecting us spiritually into the fellowship of God. Now that we are spiritually alive, meaning God lives in us, having a connection with God, which allows us to hear his voice and lead and guide us into all truth. Given us faith that cannot be broken, even though the devil tries to break us. There is no longer a void in our hearts, an emptiness we can't explain. All that means is you need God to fill you. And when you have God to fill you, that void is gone.
Amen.
See, since Jesus died on the cross, we can now be saved and not go to hell when we die. Thank God.
Praise the Lord.
Isn't that beautiful? Jesus
Amen.
died so we don't go hell. We can go heaven
Praise the Lord.
if we accept him in our lives. And we want to go hell. We won't go hell. You
Amen.
get stuck here. You can't get out. So because of Jesus' sacrifice, we all can be saved. And for one thing, don't let anybody tell you that heaven and hell is not real.
Amen.
It is real. It's a place we all go, either place. We all go when we die, when we go for our final designation. So try to get your life straightened up so you can go to heaven.
Amen.
And the sad part is, some people, they commit suicide because they can't handle life anymore. And that's so sad, because they think dying is their only way out, their only option. And they think when they do that, life ends and it stops right there. That's not true.
Amen.
The sad part is when they open their eyes, they wake up in hell.
That's right.
Suicide is a sin, and God teaches it in his laws, that if you kill yourself, you will end up in hell, because you're unknowingly killing yourself.
Amen.
So don't kill yourself. In hell, there's no parole, there's no escape.
That's right.
You'll be lost forever. If you're having these thoughts, talk to somebody. Don't kill yourself. And as Jesus said, "Come unto me, all you that labor and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. For I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light." The Lord gives rest to those who are weary.
Amen.
The Lord is saying this morning, look to me and be saved. Though we are bound with burdens, the Lord will break them all to all those who trust
Amen.
in Christ Jesus. And for now, we'll stop here and continue on with our final designation series,
Amen.
Lord's willing. But if you would like to accept Jesus in your heart, say, "Dear Heavenly Father,
Dear Heavenly Father,
I am a sinner.
I'm a sinner.
Forgive me of all my sins.
Forgive me all my sins.
I believe that Jesus Christ died
I believe that Jesus Christ died
and rose again.
and rose again.
Come live in my heart, Holy Spirit,
Come live in my heart, Holy Spirit.
in Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
And remember that the words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life.